The Bible says, "Fill your hungry soul with what's good." When we eat, we share, we grow. Every meal is a chance to be fed and to feed someone else. Life is like cooking. When it works, it doesn't matter if the process is fancy or simple. Good food and a life well lived comes down to how much heart you put in. Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be making pie. Now I know, pie can be really scary, and you're not going to be perfect the first time that you make it. In fact, you're probably not going to be perfect if you've made it 100 times. It takes tons and tons of practice. But there's perfection in the imperfect. And that's why I love this rustic pie. You don't even need a pie plate to make this. The important part is to make it with love. Don't be afraid. I'm reminded of a passage from 1 John. There is no fear in love, and perfect love casts out fear. Fear has to do with punishment, so don't punish yourself for not being perfect. And I guarantee whoever you're making this pie for is going to enjoy it no matter what. And just remember that pie in any form is already perfect. So the first thing that we're going to do to make the pie crust is we're going to put half a cup of walnuts into a food processor. I really like this small one for these tinier jobs. And what you want it to look like is coarse sand. So we're going to add the pulsed walnuts. We're going to want to make little pieces out of this. And the easiest way to do this is to cut it in half and then split it, cut it in half again, and then just cube it, just like this. Now we're going to add this whole stick right into there. What you want to do is with your hands, and you can use a pastry cutter, but I always like to use my hands. I just like to feel the pie crust, because you'll know when it gets to that perfect consistency. But what you want to do is you want to squeeze the butter in between your fingers. And you want to work kind of quickly because the butter is chilled and we don't want it to come up to room temperature. So squeeze it between your fingers, smush it. To this, you're going to want to add 2 tablespoons of ice water. And you can start with 2 tablespoons of ice water. You may end up adding more, but start there. Start very slowly, because you can always add more, but it's a lot harder to take the water away. So we're just forming this dough. Up all that stuff on the bottom. So we're going to form it into a little bit of a ball. So now we want a piece of cling wrap. Put your pie crust in there, make a little bit of a medallion, press it down, and we're going to cover it up just like that. It's going to rest in the fridge for 1 hour. Then you can take your paring knife, and it's really super easy. I'm just going to peel the skin right off. You're going to want to put in a half a cup of cranberries. cornstarch. And half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Give that a quick stir. So our pie crust has been chilling in the fridge for about an hour. And now is the time that we're going to roll it out. I'm going to take a bit of flour so that it doesn't stick too bad. But the reason we're doing it on parchment paper is we're going to lift the whole parchment paper onto our baking tray. So go ahead and unwrap it. And kind of press it out a little bit. I'm going to put a tiny bit more on top so the rolling pin doesn't stick to it. It's okay to go slow because we want to fix any of the cracks that happen like this. So you can kind of always come back, push the dough together as you're rolling it out, and then continue to roll it out into the circle. Press down in the middle, roll out to the side. We're just trying to make it big enough to where you can fit all of that filling in. If it starts to get sticky on the side, you can always come back and put more flour and just take your time. Now we're going to start folding up the sides. And this is the part where the more imperfect it is, the better. You just want to make sure that there's no cracks at the very bottom. And don't worry about it because we're not going to be lifting it up off of this parchment. And again, the beauty of this is that it is beautifully imperfect, perfectly imperfect. There you go. Put it right on our baking sheet. We are going to put a few little bits of butter on the top just to make it even more decadent. And in the oven it goes. Just going to want to finish this off and make it really look Christmassy. Take a little bit of powdered sugar. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.